Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. So could you believe I was stopped by a trooper on the way home? I'm trying to figure out why. Actually, the guy was cool. He just wanted to make sure these were empty. So I told him they were empty and rinsed out, and he, shook them and made sure they were tight. And he, let me go. So, some of you might want to know the story. There is a little distance from my house, a distillery, Tote Distillery, off the Taconic Parkway. And it's a little distance from my house, but they wanted to get rid of these before winter set in. So what they were used for, I don't know, what is something, they make spirits, bourbon, whiskey, so forth, and they're not actually distilling corn yet. They're not turning corn into alcohol yet. They work with another company that makes the pre-bourbon, pre-whiskey, whatever you want to call the spirits before it gets into the barrel. They work with another distillery that actually makes the alcohol, and it comes to them in these containers, in these plastic containers, and then they do what they do to it and put it into wooden barrels and age it, and then they got their whole gig. So he had a whole hoard of these things, and he was letting them go for $30 each. So for $120, I picked up 4. And you might say, what the heck are you going to do with them? And that's a valid question. It always is. If you cut the top off, they make an excellent wood bin. You just want to make sure you cut the top off such that you can put it back on so it doesn't fill with water, and or poke some holes in the bottom of it so once again it doesn't fill with water. If you're going to put wood in there, you want it to breathe. Or you can blow out the side of it and store firewood in it. Some people blow out the side of it and they use them for dog cages. So that's one thing you could do with it. You put them tight together, cut a hole in it, and it's a shelter. I'm kidding. Unless you're desperate, then it is a shelter, right? You just use the piece you cut out of it on the top and side so that no rain comes in, but then you could be lying in there. It's 8 foot long. Anybody who ever thought of these things, just a few of the specifics. The long dimension is 40, I think it's 48. The short dimension is 40 or 42. It fits between the wheel wells. They're about 4 foot tall, empty with nothing in them. They weigh about 135 pounds. They're actually a good height and size, where if you took 4 of them, use those 2 as the outer walls, right? Cattle paddle, you can actually set yourself a miniature cattle paddle building for storing things. Once again, that's not my purpose for them. I'm probably going to use them for firewood. So that's what the truck looks like. So I had a busy morning. I was out getting these things and chatting up the guy from Taconic Distillery and hanging out with the cops. It's always a thrill to be on the side of the road. I was close enough to the house so all my friends and neighbors could see me, which is always a thrill. But what are you gonna do? I escaped without paper, so I'm happy. Anyway, I want everybody to keep their feet down, their heads up, and I want everybody to get out and enjoy their day. Bye now.